What if something invisible is living inside of your head, feeding off of you right now, and you didn't even know it?
And what if the junk in your head is just as real as the parasites that are in your fish?
Yeah, that's right now. So we got to dive into it.
This episode is brought to you by Backbone Coffee, First Form, and Two Clever Fellas. Watch or listen.
I challenge you as a believer, let that power get out.
Blind people received their sight. People have been carried in. We're healed. Nobody touched them. Nobody laid a hand on them. We just praised the Lord and spoke the word of faith, and God began to heal the people.
Here's fish.
Yeah, let's go!
Oh my gosh, he's a pig.
He landed inside of it.
He kept me from. God, look how massive this is.
The Casting Faith Podcast.
Fish on.
Welcome to the Casting Faith Podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Sean.
And we're back. I believe this is episode 34. 34?
I think so. 34.
There's more podcasts
That's
now.
more than 33.
There's more podcasts. We've made more podcasts than years I've been alive.
My.
Well, it will take you all your life to hear this show. I don't know where he's going.
Imagine if Mountain Man had 34 episodes.
It'd be amazing.
Oh, he probably does.
You know, I feel like he'd be great. You know, the ASMR. He'd be great to fall asleep to. We just heard from the Mountain Man show.
Yeah.
Have you been watching the new Revival series?
No.
No. I've only seen one episode. They're kind of hard to find if you're not like on all the streaming services. I don't know where it's on.
Yeah.
Where it's
A&E.
at. Is it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They had one
I saw the first
streaming service that I forget. Hulu, maybe? I don't remember.
Through unconventional ways, I watched the first episode. Dun 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 dun. It's getting ridiculous, man. Like how many? Like you have Netflix costs what $13 now.
I have no idea.
YouTube or not YouTube. Netflix costs like a bunch of money, and they're trying to do ads. You got Hulu charging a bunch of money, and they're doing ads, and then you got Disney Plus bundle. Everything is like $20 each now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm old enough to remember when Netflix came out, it was like $7 a month.
For me, it's subscriptions to Dropbox
Yeah.
is like, $12. There's a couple other things that for like video editing I'm subscribed to.
I think we're at like $80 a month just on entertainment, and half of it we don't even use.
It's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And then we got then Canva Pro is $15, and then we got the other stuff that we use.
Yeah.
Costs money. And so I don't know, it's just wild. It's frustrating. I don't know why I thought of that just now. It just makes me mad. Like, oh yeah, Duck Dynasty.
Hey, I had to buy one of these dumb things right here. If anybody can't see this, like a solid state drive. So I was editing a wedding I shot a couple weeks ago, and my old drive that I used for video editing wasn't big enough, and it just crashed out.
Oof.
So I don't edit off of my computer. I use Final Cut Pro, but I don't edit on store on my computer. I always work from the drive. That way it doesn't crash my computer.
Yeah.
So, and that other one was always big enough, the T7. And, dude, I was just like struggling. It couldn't do a thing.
Because of the amount of
the size.
video.
Yeah. So I had to upgrade to a 2 terabyte.
Yeah, I was shocked.
T9.
I was shocked when one of our episodes was like 30 gigabytes or something. Like, what in the world? Like, remember that?
Yeah.
When we were trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half at 4K.
Yeah.
It wasn't even 4K. I don't.
Yeah, like 1080p or something. But it was tough to figure that out.
I only had about 140 gigs from the wedding that I shot.
So crazy.
Which is, I really tried not to overshoot. It was like one of my goals.
They were happy though.
Yeah.
Good. Overall experience though, like
Yeah, it was
not your first one, but
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Went pretty smooth.
That's cool, man. So if you need a wedding booked, Sweet 238.
Yeah, they do it for you.
It's this guy.
Sponsored by.
This episode is actually brought to you by Sweet 238. Anyways, no, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And they were happy.
Yeah, they were happy. They they said they cried. So that's the goal.
Win. Hey, let us know in the comments. Have you ever cried during any of these episodes? Probably not.
Probably not.
You've laughed though, I bet. Maybe at us, but
Or, so you guys are dumb Nimrods.
no, I like you. 5-star review. Oh man. Oh well, this is a weird show today.
Yeah.
I hope that the gross out factor doesn't turn you away. But we got a lot. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff. But we're just catching up. We got a lot of stuff
for our catch-up segment.
Yeah,
we have a special guest.
We do
for our catch-up segment.
We heard about this guy.
Hey, he jumped in a little early.
Yeah,
That's
it's okay.
all right.
We heard about him last week. He's found a passion for fishing, and we want to hear about it.
This is my son, Trenton Delaney. Hey, Trenton, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it was like to fish a tournament and what got you hooked on fishing? Because like 3 weeks ago, you hated fishing. You hated fishing 3 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell us like what made you start liking fishing. Tell us about the tournament that you fished and like the life lesson that you learned in the tournament.
Okay. So I guess the biggest reason why I got like addicted to fishing was probably like just seeing other people catch fish and me wanting to catch them. And when I catch them, I want to catch more because it's just
They know the
can't-
feeling.
you can't go without a fish, you know.
Yeah.
And whenever you lose it, you want to go back to catch that fish. But yeah, the tournament was very interesting. It was pouring down rain. It was it was terrible. But the way I got through it was I just want to catch fish, you know. And I got skunked that day, and I wanted to win really bad because I'm just competitive, I guess. But yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So you did catch a fish though, but you lost it. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah. So I can't, if I don't have the hook set good enough, then I'll lose the fish normally. And that's what happened there. It was, he said about 3 pounds. But yeah, I thought that you would just like reel it in. That's what I thought back then. But you gotta pull it up close to the boat and then grab it out of the water. So,
And then you lost the bait that you paid for.
Oof.
yeah. So
Double prizes.
literally not even a day before, I bought a $13 Whopper Plopper. And well, I bought 2 of them and then a frog for $40. I still have the black one and then I still have the frog. But yeah, I casted like this and it got right in the tree. And I tried to pull it out, it wouldn't come out, and my dad just snapped it. So
blame it on me.
yeah,
It's my
it
dad's
was his
fault.
guys.
It's all right. We all got like about $350 in trees somewhere. You know, it all starts when you're your age, and then by the time you're my age, you've lost your retirement on it.
And tell us about your breakdown, how you got through it.
Oh yeah. So I kind of got really mad because I didn't want to lose that fish. I was about to snap my rod in half and throw it in the water. But I didn't because my dad would have probably threw me off the boat.
Yeah.
But I just got through it because I knew that I would get in trouble. Also, I knew that it just wouldn't be it would just be a waste of the fishing pole, and I wouldn't be able to fish anymore at all. But I just got through it because I remembered that fishing is just for fun, and it's not. Well, sometimes it's competitive, but you gotta think of it as it's fun because that's when you'll just be chill and you'll catch fish.
Trenton, do you think that the hard part of that evening was worth it to have the fun?
I mean, I was scarred to go back the next time, so
But you still want to fish, right?
yeah. I still wanted to fish, but probably not in the rain anymore.
but so we ended up catching fish at the buzzer, like basically buzzer beater. And then we weighed in and you had a good time. So what was your life lesson that you learned from all this that you told me?
That you gotta do hard things to have fun. Because if you don't do hard things, like how should I say this? So you gotta work towards fun.
Yeah.
You can't just have it. So,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Valuable life lesson. You caught more than a fish that night.
Yeah.
You caught some knowledge.
Yeah.
Wisdom. Nice, man. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Tell everybody we'll see you later.
Bye guys. I'm tired.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad he's getting into the sport, It's good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's doing good.
Yeah.
Well, that was Trenton. He's 11 years old. He's going to be a professional bass fisherman one day, making $4 million like Jacob Wheeler.
Yeah, he can put our logo on his boat.
Yeah.
Remember your beginnings, Trenton.
Well, if anybody wants to sponsor Trenton and buy him a new Whopper Plopper.
Yeah. Hey, if you visit our
Email
website,
us.
you visit our website. It's in the show description. You can donate money for a Whopper Plopper at the bottom of the page. If you do that, Trenton gets to fish more. So.
Somebody buying
Poor kid.
replace his Whopper Plopper.
Yeah, his dad had to go and break it off. He couldn't.
He blamed it on me. I didn't throw it in the tree.
That's awesome. Oh, well, it's always good to see young people getting into fishing. It is full of. This is part of why we do the show in this theme and why we talk about fishing so much. Is that a lot of life can be learned through fishing, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many kids out there right now who are so glued to the screens and the video games and all of the digital stuff that they don't ever go outside and they don't ever experience life, right? The way God intended it, unplugged, out and about in the real world, And so for me growing up fishing and not so much hunting, like we've said, I want to be a hunterman, but eventually maybe I'll get out there and learn that too. But being outside fishing, canoeing, kayaking, doing that, hiking. And I remember I have vivid memories of the cabin in Pennsylvania of being knee deep in the creek or the crick, as we used to say it. We'd be knee deep in the crick, catching them crawfish,
Yeah.
Just that whole experience, man, it's just made me a lot of who I am today. And so I think everybody should have that experience. And so, but it's tough though, because we're in this world where everything is so rapidly advancing, right? We talked about last week, AI this, AI that, and everything is advancing so fast. You can be entertained really cheaply, free for long periods of time, for the term binge worthy, all the things. And it just costs some. The point of today's episode is talking about how much that costs, what that actually does to you as a person. And so, I want to talk about it for a little bit. Sean, have you heard this? Okay, this is some crazy stuff, right? Have you heard most of the world does a parasite detox twice a year?
No, I've never heard of that.
So like all around the world, people are taking like deworm, like not just for worms, but for all kinds of parasites, not necessarily inside the United States, but they are going twice a year doing a detox to get rid of parasites that have found their way in through one way or another. A lot of times it comes from cats or dogs. So if you're a pet owner, the chances are you have some kind of parasite living in you.
Ew.
Isn't that nasty? And if you've got a cat, you probably for sure do. If you have a dog, you probably for sure do. If you eat the fish that you catch, you probably sure do. Like if you eat some of the food in whole stores, even, like it's crazy that we don't have this. This is in my life, I've never heard that you're supposed to detox or deworm twice a year.
That's weird.
And it's supposedly a cause of all kinds of issues like in health. And so it's kind of going viral a little bit. There's a TikToker. I don't know if that's the right term. Trenton was still here. He'd give me a nod.
He's still here.
There's a TikToker. Is that how you say that? TikToker?
He has no idea.
I don't know either. It's okay. It's hard to keep up, but there's
I'm proud that he doesn't know.
Yes, we're doing something right. We detoxed a little. But there's a TikTok video from a shopper. Her name is Rachel Lynn, and she's buying salmon from the store. It's from like the Whole Foods store, Costco. It might have been Costco, might have been something else. But and she's buying salmon, and she opens this package of salmon, and it was sealed. And she's looking at this. Well, before she opened it, it's a sealed package of salmon, and she looks at it, and she's seeing that, like how the fillets are done. And in the salmon, she sees worms crawling around the bag that's sealed inside the salmon.
Wow.
At Costco.
That's gross.
And it spread wide concern online, obviously, because like I don't know, like I eat the fish that I catch, right? And I always check when I'm filleting them. I've had some gross experiences with that.
I may never take a fish home again.
Filleting the fish.
That's gross.
Well, no, it's we'll talk about it, but there's been times, and I've heard stories of people filleting fish and seeing these pinworms or something in them, or little dots that could be eggs. And there's a whole process to deal with that. But like the whole thing is, people are much rather go to Costco and get a farm grown salmon that it's fresh, it's clean, it's been processed the right way, it's packaged, it's got to have none of that in it. Well, that's not true.
Yeah, like
meat in general will have this stuff in it. Like whether it's from the creek or the lake or from Costco, it could have some stuff in it. But you obviously, that's why you freeze fish. You freeze fish because it kills the parasites that it could have. And all of our meat will have that. It's not just limited to that. Like if you ever eat bear meat, you're supposed to cook bear meat well done, because if you cook it medium rare or something and you eat it, you're going to get trichinosis every time.
Interesting.
And same with deer. Deer you can kind of cook differently, but you have to cook. That's why you cook it. You have to process the food somehow.
Speaking of bear meat, there's been a bunch of moose sightings around here, right? Or not moose. I'm so sorry.
Bear sightings.
Bear sighting.
In Northeast Ohio.
I don't know.
It was one of them AI video clips. It was just a prompt.
So right up by Mosquito Lake where we launched the boat. Like there's been a couple bear sightings over there recently. Over here at West Branch,
Florida just Marcus will appreciate this, but Florida. I guess he was talking to Keith about doing a bear hunt. But Florida just opened bear season again.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
I didn't know they had bear in Florida.
And we're gonna have. I think so. I could be wrong. I think that's the one.
I thought they required mountains.
But we got them all over here.
Huh.
I remember going home. I'll let you finish. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I remember coming home from high school once. I lived out in Suffield area near Mogador Reservoir and stuff. And there was a black bear crossing Congress Lake Road.
Yeah.
And it's like, in my life, I never knew that those were here, like here they were in Pennsylvania. I'd seen them in Pennsylvania, vacationing and stuff. But yeah, they're everywhere, man.
Yeah. I've always grown up around them in West Virginia, but never up here. I thought bear would be around here.
Not wild.
But now they're like all around like this area.
And people
coming out of Pennsylvania.
People eat bear, but when you do, you gotta like really cook it.
Yeah.
Because this trichinosis, these worms and stuff.
Sounds like a math problem.
Trigonometry.
Trichinosis.
I don't know. Math is hard. But apparently a lot of concern in that area, right? Like, and it's not just that. And then we got the other thing where like a lot of our food is just we've mass produced it to the point where there's little to no nutritional value in the food that we're eating. So the quality of protein that we're getting, quality of food that we're getting is so low in America, yet we're the only ones that don't detox. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
No idea. Never heard of it.
So it's crazy to me. And it keeps popping up. Like somebody sent me a reel about it, like detox this or that. And it keeps popping up in my feeds now. But so we talked about it a little bit. These fish have worms in it. The deer could have worms in it. The bear for sure have worms in it. Our cattle could have worms in it. Any kind of meat that we eat. And so is the answer to go vegan? I'm not doing that.
No way.
No way.
No way.
I had me a thick steak for Father's Day. Delmonico thick. It was amazing. And so we gotta think this through a minute, right? So are these worms actually dangerous? There was a book growing up that I read in grade school It was called How to Eat Fried Worms. Did you ever remember reading that?
No.
Trenton, did you ever read that? No. It was one of these books. I think I had summer school once, believe it or not, as an uneducated educator, I guess. But like, I had to do summer school once, and I had to read this book. We read Holes, and we read How to Eat Fried Worms, and it was all about like kids eating worms, like frying up worms on a dare. And it was, I don't remember most of the book, but it was fun to read. And, but like all over the world, like bugs are normally eaten, right?
Yeah.
Like crickets. John the Baptist ate locusts and honey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When we
Like
were
it's a
in-
protein
When I
source.
was in Brazil, they served these giant ants as part of a dessert.
I just see in my mind, I see Timon from The Lion King, the big old grub worms. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
Hakuna
of grub
Matata,
worms,
baby.
I'm gonna go off topic for a second.
Yeah.
Speaking of grub worms, we were camping
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago, and we didn't bring any of our fishing stuff. We were just making a quick camping trip, and we were staying on the water. And me and Trenton went down, and I was like, "I bet you I can find somebody's string and hook and bobber and stuff just laying around, snagged in a tree." Sure enough, found a string maybe like 24 inches long, had a hook on the end of it, and it had a bobber.
Game on, baby.
And I was like, all right, let's find a stick. So I chopped down a green branch that had some bend to it and pretty sensitive of like a pole would be.
Mm-hmm.
And then tied it to the end of that. So I got this 24-inch string on this big old stick, and I dug up some
Cane
grub
fishing,
worms.
baby.
And put a little grub on the end of the hook, just stuck it in the water, and I caught 5 bluegill.
Let's go.
On a stick.
But did you fry them up and eat them?
No,
you
I threw 'em
should've.
back.
Oh, they're so good to eat. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome.
This is so funny.
The beginning.
Like, you can go and just catch fish with anything.
That's what Nick was saying. It's like you could literally tie a string on a pole and catch a fish. Why do you need a license? You know?
Yeah.
But like, why are we limiting people? But yeah, dude, that's cool. Right? It's the beginning of like a challenge.
Yeah.
Like maybe we go
It
fishing
is,
with
yeah.
just go fish with just a stick and
Whatever
some
you
string.
can find.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have some exciting news. We have officially partnered with Backbone Coffee. That's right. Casting Faith, Backbone Coffee, partnering together to bring good coffee to your morning routine.
Whether you're out on the water or
In everyday life,
or working the graveyard shift,
Backbone Coffee is for you.
it is. Try it out. It's awesome. Check the link in the description.
Like, what's the best? Dude, I saw somebody take a Barbie reel out, and I don't know where this was, but they were taking a Barbie reel out on a kayak. And it was like one of those pink Disney ones or whatever. And he threw it out there, and he caught a white sturgeon on it.
Wow.
And it was just, I'm like, it's going to break. It's going to break. And it's like, and he's like getting it in. And the pole is completely bent over, and the rod tip breaks, and he still lands the fish.
Every April, they have the Steelhead Barbie Rod Tournament
That's awesome.
up here.
Chase, we got to do a Barbie rod challenge. You in? Well, I don't know what are we at? July.
I'm not buying one.
Oh, I got one for you. We'll do it all together. I got like 4 at home for my kids, and so yeah, that'd be fun. Some of them are made better though. Like there's I think it might be Ugly
Proficiency has one.
Ugly Stick or Zebco.
Which is that Proficiency rod?
Shakespeare.
Barbie rod.
One of them is called the Dock Demon, and it's got like we don't like demons on this show, but you know, it's got the Ugly Stick rod on it.
Yeah.
It's probably got a Shakespeare reel, but it looks legit. Be good for like, sometimes it's fun to fish with a tiny fishing pole on a kayak.
Yeah.
I've done that. Justin's done that too.
Yeah.
It's fun. You feel more in control, but it's always difficult when you get a log of a fish, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, so I've made this known. I love to eat what I catch, right?
Yeah.
Not all the time. Recently, I've been doing a lot of catch and release, and I appreciate both aspects of it. I like to catch and eat, and I like to catch and release. I just love fishing. Like Trenton's learning to love fishing. Like it's just fun for me. And so, but it makes me wonder, you know, and our country is like one of the only ones that don't require a detox or recommend a detox for people. And which makes me wonder, and after reading that book and seeing how most of the world eats bugs anyways, are these worms actually dangerous? And so here's what I found online. It says these are kind of like nematodes, often called codworms or herring worms, embed themselves into the flesh of fish. Okay. And here's the deal. When the fish is cooked to at least 140 degrees Fahrenheit, or it's frozen at -4 degrees for 7 or more days, or like flash freezing them kills this parasite. And so it's not going to like grow inside of you. But if you undercook it or eat it like fresh or raw, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, people do that.
Yeah.
It's gross.
People do that. And so consuming a live worm may be gruesome, but cooking and freezing it kind of cancels it out. And then it's a nothing thing. But it's gross to think of. And so like, you want to make sure you cook it all the way through, but it just wigs me out, man. Like, how come they don't want us to how come you can't go into Walmart and buy a 7-day cleanse dewormer? Why is that not recommended?
You can get a dewormer from the pet section.
Like we all were told in 2019 that you have to get this certain medication.
Maybe that's why. The dewormer, we deworm our animals.
Maybe.
Do other countries do that?
I don't know.
Are we the only ones that spend thousands of dollars on our pets?
I don't know, man.
Every year.
I just think, would it hurt to recommend it,
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's like just the kids need to do it. That's like what the view was here for a while, is like just the kids. What? Like we just supposed to live? What's going on in here?
Yeah.
Like, do we supposed to like, it just, like it just makes me wonder, like, why are we not doing this? And so the CDC issued a warning about trichinosis in wild game, especially in wild hog, or like in a few states, people are getting sick after eating. The big deal is that it's not cooked enough to kill the grossness in it. And so, but dude, if you look at, there was a documentary on your thought, are we doing more in the United States to prevent this kind of thing? Food Inc. is a documentary on Netflix, I think. As mad as I am about the price increase.
INC or INK?
INC.
Okay.
And it talks about factory farming.
Like talk about the INK. We're talking about they're making our own meat.
So
what was that? 3D printed meat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's not that. It's like it's the science. It's a documentary about factory farming in the United States and how the quality of what we're getting is so poor compared to the rest of the world because of the mass production. And they're so full of everything. And so it's actually worse. According to this, it's actually worse quality stuff.
Hey, that Brazilian steakhouse in Manaus, Brazil was
Do you remember the
epic.
name?
No. I have to look it up.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. And so if we're going to believe that, we're not detoxing and our food is poor quality.
Yeah.
So that's wild. That's crazy. It's like the real danger though is if you undercook it. So don't get all squeamish and quit eating meat or do whatever. Like some people want to be vegan, or like like I thought about doing pescatarian or something, but like I love meat, man. It tastes good. It's why we have it. I like to eat meat. I just don't want worms, right?
Yeah.
And so
it's guachos.
Guachos Brazil house.
Guachos churrascaria.
I love when you say words. I'm the same way though, but if I see it and I can't read it, I won't say it. Guachos. Well, if you're ever in Manaus, Brazil, go to that steakhouse.
Guachos. I can't pronounce it, but it's on Rua Terracina Road in Avenida Paraíba.
You sound like the chat phones that were speaking to each other, AIs that were talking to each other. Do you want to switch to Sean's language? That would be fine.
Guachos.
That's
probably not even how you pronounce it.
I went to a Brazilian steakhouse once. It is delicious. Like it's good.
Yeah.
Taste and see that it is good. And so it's weird though that they're just like, nah, you don't need to. That's wild. And so that makes me, I'm thinking about doing a detox. And a lot of times though, you can reset your system by like a 74-hour fast or something. And so it's important that's why fasting is a big deal in your spiritual walk, is because it kind of forces your body to detox and kill the bad things in your body. And it converts it to energy, and then you boost. There's so many benefits, and we can get into that in another episode. But so many benefits when it comes to fasting, And so on top of fasting though, I guess we should be deworming every once in a while, which is crazy, especially if you eat a lot of, I eat a lot of steelhead, and I got some deer jerky in the fridge at home.
Yeah.
Not so much bear. I'd eat it though. I'd eat it just about any meat.
Oh, dude. I'm
That
seeing
looks
these
so
videos now of this
We need a
place in
TV
Brazil.
that we could put on behind us,
Oh my gosh. It was so good.
Man. But it's
yeah.
oh yeah.
That meat.
Now imagine just like eating as much as we do of meat. I wonder what the statistic is on that. How much meat we eat in this world or in the United States. Some of it is very poor quality.
Yeah.
Some of it isn't getting cooked all the way, and everyone's had their experience with food poisoning and stuff like that. But maybe we should be deworming every once in a while.
Get our daily dewormer
I don't know.
from First Form.
I'm sure they might have something. Anyways, it's wild.
Human dewormer.
It's wild that we don't, and I wonder why. It wigs me out. But the weirdness of it is like parasites like trichinosis and tapeworms and roundworms. You don't see them until you have them. Like you don't notice until they're being forced to evacuate. Through like detox or deworm.
Oh, I thought you meant another method.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's how they get out. That way that you're laughing about, right? Like you don't see them until it's a nightmare.
Gross.
And so, sorry everybody. Hope this doesn't get too gross for
As
you.
you're eating.
Yeah. Good morning. Hoping you enjoyed your egg McMuffin from McDonald's. Make sure to take your dewormer. But it's one of those things where you don't know until you know, and then it's like a nightmare, right? And so, like, have you ever I can't say that. Never mind. There's like symptoms. Like if you're itchy in a certain spot, that's a sign.
Okay, bro.
Okay. If you're itchy in a certain area, that may be a telltale sign that you need to do your twice a year detox. Also, dude, like growing up in working in early childhood, and in the school systems and stuff. And you probably have this experience, like growing up, like you always knew somebody who had head lice. And as soon as you talk about head lice, your head starts itching. Like because it wigs you out. Like you don't want bugs on you or in you, right? And so it's just one of those things that you don't really see them until they're there, and sometimes you don't want to create false panic. But studies suggest it's barely on the radar for most people, and millions of people are carrying parasites unknowingly, and that's wild. Like, I don't know the actual numbers on it, but like chances are somebody right now, definitely some people who are listening right now has parasites. One of us may have parasites right now, or both of us. Like it's wild that there's like hardly anything. Like never has, I don't even have a primary care doctor right now, but growing up, never did my primary care doctor say, hey, you should probably detox. You might have this.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
And hardly nobody is, and on the same note, like nobody's saying like, oh, you should probably eat healthier and exercise, like there's a lot of things that everyone knows is right to do, but we don't do it.
In US and Canada, 1 to 2 out of 10 people have some form of parasitic infection.
Crazy. And nobody's
often asymptomatic.
Right. But do you want, like my wife and I were talking about this, and she's super grossed out about it and doesn't want to, like, I don't want to know. Like that's the general consensus.
Africa, Asia, South America, 6 to 8 of 10 people have it.
Yeah. But isn't like 1 out of 10 too many?
Yeah.
Like in this day and age,
it's crazy.
It's wild, man. So shout out to our 500 subscribers on YouTube. But out of our 500 subscribers on YouTube, what's that mean? How many have parasites?
When are we getting Mountain Man back on?
Yeah, we need to get him on.
He helped us a lot.
Well,
just call him right now. Just call him. Hey, Mountain Man, where you at? Well, hey there, guys.
Just picking up my once a year dewormer.
I was out there cutting the grass, and then
Something was
take
itching.
a break.
Okay. But it's crazy, man. Like, of those 500, how many might have it's just wild. I think it's just something that it's crazy that people are carrying it unknowingly. They don't know. We're not really educated in this, and we shouldn't have to. And you say asymptomatic, but like having them at all should not happen. There's got to be symptom, like maybe the symptoms aren't like the typical symptoms, but maybe it's got to be affecting you somehow.
Yeah.
Like you're just a host for something to live on. That's affecting you in some way. And so I think it's interesting, man. And I'll dive into this a little bit more because, you know, parasites in the physical are one thing, right? And how do we get those? Well, we talked about that. You eat raw meat, you eat bear meat, beer battered bear meat that's undercooked or something. You know what I mean? Like you eat like a fish with worms that isn't cooked right, or you didn't freeze it right, or you didn't prepare it right, or something in the processing happened wrong, and now you got issues, right? In the physical. And a lot of times that presents itself in like getting sick or on random symptoms or whatever, or maybe it doesn't show up, like you said, maybe it's asymptomatic or it's affecting you in a way you don't really see. Right. And so we see that like in the physical, and you know, the spiritual side of it is this, man, is like I've said this before, like the physical mirrors the spiritual a lot.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with this topic, man, I just got back from 2 weeks at working at Ohio district camps. And one of the coolest things about camp season, even as a supervisor or camp counselor or whatever, you go there and you get away from all the noise, all the negative news, all of the binging TV services, all of the social media, all of the Netflix and Disney and radio and podcast, all the things you get away from for me, it's 2 weeks. It's like I'm doing a detox. And the clarity that I get in my spirit from taking a break from all of the things, I come back different.
Yeah.
Every time. And for the students who all they do, like everybody Trenton's age, all they do is stay up until 5 a.m. and play video games all night long. And all they do is watch whatever they can find on YouTube or the internet or in streaming service. They're getting exposed to so much, and the culture is to consume. Just keep feeding the flesh. Just keep feeding. Let's binge watch. I watched a whole season in 2 days, you know, or I watched a whole series in a week. And all they do is binge. And what I'm suggesting is, like, when you do that, you're consuming like a spiritual parasite unknowingly.
Yeah.
And it may not be a sinful thing like what you're watching. It may be innocent. That video game maybe it's not like devil worshiping or something crazy or extreme, but like the simple fact that you overindulge and constantly feed your flesh all the time, you're simply going to ingest too much of a good thing or too much of a once in a while treat. There's going to be a negative impact on your spirit. And it's a spiritual parasite.
Yeah.
And what happens is that you ingest so much, you're feeding the flesh, doing only things that you want to do. And it may not even, I rip on like AI and media and social media and podcast, all the things, like we talk about over ingesting that, but it may just be simple, everyday fun things. Like if you're a golfer, you go out and you golf every weekend and you spend a majority of your time going out on the I don't relate to this, but you spend the majority of the time on the golf course, and it eats up all your time. And now you're not spending time with your family. And now you're not spending time with the Lord because all you can think about is golfing. Golfing's not a sin. You know, being out there is not bad. But if that's all you ever do, you're consuming, and if it's all consuming to you, it's becoming an idol, and it's becoming, you're ingesting a spiritual parasite. Same with all the good things, even our show, you know?
Yeah.
Like if we're the only scripture that you're hearing, you're doing something wrong, you know? Like we want you to listen, we want you to share. We're here for a reason, you know? But we want people to be balanced in all things, right? And so all things in moderation, whatever. But like if all we're ever doing is feeding the flesh, all about me, what I want to do, you're ingesting so much into your carnal nature that you're picking up spiritual parasites. And so here's what happens. And it's happened to me a lot. It's happened to me before all the time. This happens to me. You do these things unknowingly, and then your prayer life starts to slip. And you're not praying as much. And then you're 2 months behind on your Bible reading plan. And all of a sudden, the only spiritual experience you have is, in a 30-minute altar call at church on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's not God's plan. You're in starvation mode.
Yeah.
Because all of the things that you've ingested is consuming all of that nutrients that you're getting from that one good experience. And so you have this parasite inside of you that is just consuming all of the good that you're supposed to be gaining in God and in your relationship with God. And so there's got to be an answer to that. We can't just ignore it and think, and it's always around this time in the summertime that I've noticed in youth work and in ministry in general, where people get so preoccupied with vacations and fun and experience and all these things. And we get into this point where, man, we're not careful. We're not really devoting any of our life to God in this moment.
Yeah.
And it's this parasitic exchange that we have to deal with, right? We have to deal with it. And what it does is when you're in this carnal state because of all of the overindulgence, what's happening is the fruits of the Spirit that you're supposed to produce, it gets eaten up. Like every believer, ministry or not, you're supposed to have the gifts of the fruits of the Spirit. And that stuff, that joy, long suffering, all those things, all those fruits, you can look it up, but all those fruits start to get consumed. And all of a sudden, man, you're annoyed by people. All of a sudden, you're angry with somebody for no reason. All of a sudden, a simple exchange is a massive exchange. All of a sudden, offense happens so quickly and so easily. You're not happy. You're angry. You're bitter. You're irritable. All of these things start to happen. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's just because you've overindulged. You got to deal with it. So you got to do a detox.
Yeah.
Right. And it's cool. Like, it's funny that it mirrors real life, right? Like, salmon is delicious. Bear, I'm sure I don't think I've ever had bear. I've had shark, but I haven't had bear. I've been to a Brazilian steakhouse where I've had like ram and lamb and a bunch of other different exotic animals and stuff, but I don't think I've ever had bear. I've heard it's delicious. And I'm sure it's great. Like, but we indulge in these good things, right? Like not necessarily bad things, but you just undercook it a little bit and you got some issues.
Yeah.
And the way to get rid of that, there's a prescribed method to deal with it for most of the world. Just, I guess, not the United States for some reason. But spiritually speaking, you got to get away. You got to get outside of the noise for a minute. You got to shut the screens off. You got to maybe it's time to fast a day or two to get your head on right. Like, we don't fast for favor, you know. That's not the point of fasting. The point of fasting, and whether it's food or media or social media or TV or whatever it could be, the point of saying no, it's the point of saying, I'm not doing this. I'm telling my flesh no, so that my spirit can get above water. Yeah. And all of these camp seasons, man, it's so cool that it's in the summertime, because like it's right in the midst of it's like a perfect prescription of a detox, at least for me. Like, you get out of the overconsumption and you're forced. I mean, you choose to push all of it aside for a little bit and just get your head above water. And the clarity that happens, it just melts away that anxiety or that anger and that bitterness that comes with you've just been serving yourself so much, for so long. And so, what's the cleanse? Just like if you got a fish fasting and you see all these pinworms, like, you got to deal with that, right? You either choose not to eat it or process it the right way, right? And spiritually, you gotta take screen breaks, and you gotta pray, and you gotta have moments without the noise, right? You gotta get away from the noise and get yourself where you need to be, right? Literally, just try this, right? Like, if all you've done this week, if your screen time is 8 hours a day for this week, just shut it off for a day. See how you feel, Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the Bible part of this. 2 Corinthians 7:1 says, "Let us cleanse ourselves from every defilement of the body and of spirit." Notice the phrasing there. Paul is saying body and spirit. Like, how have we defiled ourselves from what we eat in the physical and in the spiritual? He says he says, let us cleanse ourselves. You wouldn't eat, dude, like there ain't no way if we were steelhead fishing and we filleted it open and there were fish, there were like worms all up in it. You'd be leaving it in, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be taking that home and eating it.
No.
Right? You wouldn't eat a parasite filled fish. So why do we feed ourselves poison that we know is not good for us? You know? You know what I'm saying? It's just some practical things today just to help somebody out there who maybe you're in the midst of the time of your life this summer. That's great. Enjoy it. Like you earn it. You go enjoy it. But man, stay balanced and take some steps. Step away from the screens for a little while. Take some time in the morning to pray and have a moment to meditate. And go on walks in the outdoors and get unplugged. Have a real conversation with God. One of my favorite things about the outdoors is, man, it's nice to be alone out there and just be with God and His creation. You know, it's like quieting the noise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that I just think is important. Do you ever think of that though? Like, do you ever notice? Have you ever heard about the parasite thing?
Nope.
It's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. I ran into that and it really interested me, and it kind of made me nervous though, because I'm like, well, do I need to take a dewormer? You know, as Bluey says, we got the bum worms. You know, I hope not. Hope not. But chances are, man, you probably need a cleanse in your physical and spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey everybody, Charlie from the Casting Faith podcast. We're proud to announce our new show sponsor, Two Clever Fellas. You got junk piling up in your yard? Maybe it's time to move. You got some things you need cleaned out? Well, I have the person for you. Call Marcus at Two Clever Fellas. We have a special offer for our listeners today. 20% off on these projects in the summer and this spring. Call Marcus at 330-283-8000 and mention that we sent you and get 20% off. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Quick round of overrated, underrated. All right, Sean. Overrated, underrated. Do you prefer... Oh, you just said you're not a big fish eater. But when you are eating fish, do you prefer it from the store? Like, let's use steelhead, for example. I went to Sam's Club the other day and I saw steelhead in the fish section, and it was like, I don't know, it was something ridiculous, $18 a pound or something like that. And would you prefer it from the store or from nature itself?
Personally, from McDonald's.
Fillet of fish.
That's where I'm at.
That's where I'm at. I'm not there, bro.
I love it.
I love
McDonald's filet fish.
I had a bad week of eating, man. I had fast food almost every day last week. Or not last week, but a couple weeks ago. And
yeah, in the past 2 weeks.
In the past 2 weeks at camp, yeah, it's a struggle.
Looks like you gained about 12 pounds.
I am up about. I'm a little heavy right now
after camp.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to eat right when you're in the trenches of the Alamo. But dude, the way I felt was so rough. eating junk all the time.
Yeah.
So for me, I think if I'm going for convenience, I want it from the store. But I feel more fulfilled taking it from nature.
I probably will take 0 steelhead home this winter.
That's okay. I'll take them home.
Yeah.
I'll take them for you.
I'd rather just not have them.
Nick enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Nick enjoyed the steelhead.
It looked good. They know how to cook.
She knows what she's doing.
Because I've never seen steelhead look that
Nick, next time you
delicious.
come on, Chrissy's got to come and cook us a meal.
Honestly, I saw the picture on my watch and I was like, it looked like they went out to eat somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was like some fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
My initial thought was that burger place that he sent, like that he's talking about. And I was like, oh, man, that looks good. And it's like the steelhead. I was like, what?
I think growing up
professional.
I think, when we were kids, I think that was on the bucket list for like what we need in wives is somebody who knows how to cook. Chrissy can cook. And so, next time maybe she comes and cooks us whatever that was. You pay like $40 for that at a restaurant, But for me though, like that's part of the fun of it for me. Is taking it home and eating it. And like watching my kids love that. They love their fish chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
So it's fun, man. But I would rather have it, I think.
I was talking to So we have our grow series going on, and there's a couple kids sitting at one of those tables. There's Bronson and Gentry and Kendall was sitting there at the table, and I was like, "Oh, what you guys eating?" And Gentry and Bronson are talking about how they like spicy chips or something like that. And I asked Kendall, like, "You like spicy chips?" And she's just like her normal shy self to me, like didn't want to talk.
So
and I was like, "But you like fish, don't you?" And she goes,
It's so funny because Kendall's not shy at all. She does have weird moments, but she'll like, yes. She's just really like aggressive. She punched me the other day. She's like,
Nice.
she's a little pistol man. She really is. I love her. Sadie's my shy one. They both love it though. They both love the fish, and so apparently we're supposed to be deworming though twice a year. That's just weird.
I won't be doing that.
I might do it. I'll let you know the results. Gross everybody out. Anyways, next one, screen detox, taking a break from all of the things.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Definitely need it often.
I think it's one of those things for me. I agree. Underrated. I think it's one of those things where like you don't know until you try it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know until you take a few days off of it, and then you see the difference, right?
Right.
It's kind of the same with exercise. Like when you're running on a if you jump on a treadmill right now and run a mile, you're gonna hate every second of it, right? But if you do it for 3 months and you run a mile a day or a mile a week or whatever for 3 months, you're gonna be like, wow, I feel incredible, you know. And so it's one of those things like you don't. Trenton said it perfectly, honestly, at the beginning of this episode. He said, you got to do the hard things to have fun. You got to be able to say no. You got to be able to put it down for a while to enjoy it, you know, just enjoy life and be your best version of yourself. You got to set it down. So yeah. And okay. So we used to do this thing growing up. Like you'd watch, instead of watching all the bad stuff, you would just watch a bunch of good stuff. Right? Like just to be able to still watch something. Does that make sense? Like maybe, okay, for example, like maybe you listen to a bunch of podcasts. Some of them are good. Some of them are great. Some of them are bad. Right? And instead of just turning off all podcasts, you binge watched our show.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead and do that. No, I'm just kidding. But it's kind of a cheap fix, I think, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like cheating. It's like I'm fasting, but I'm still going to eat, I'm still going to eat this.
Yeah.
Like Lent is a big deal, right? For some religions. And
Well, I'm only going to fast green vegetables today.
yeah. Like, what are you really accomplishing? You're not really accomplishing much, you
I
know?
hate green vegetables anyways.
Yeah. So what's the sacrifice? Like for 40 days, I'm going to go without fish. Well, do you eat fish? No. Well, you're not really doing anything, right? You know? Or like, I'm taking a year-long break from Twitter. Well,
I don't even have Twitter.
I don't even have Twitter. Like, so you're like, it's just at that point, it's just like, what's the point? You're not doing much.
Yeah.
And so I think that's interesting. All right. Would you rather? Ready? Would you rather eat fish with visible worms or go cold turkey without fishing for a month?
Cold turkey without fishing for a month.
Yeah.
And hopefully it rains every day.
Yeah.
So I'm not sacrificing anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, this is a good one. What about same thing? Would you rather go like in your house, no entertainment whatsoever? All you have is running water and electricity. Would you rather go like that for 3 months, or have to give up? I don't know. What's a good thing to give up? Give up your boat for a season.
No entertainment.
Yeah. Trent, how do you feel about that?
You said no entertainment.
All right, lock it in. Let's do it. No, I'm just teasing.
You said crap.
Got him. Good boy. Yeah, man. So here's a big one for me. Would you rather have zero sugar soda? Zero sugar soda. I guess, no, it's not a would you rather. Zero sugar soda or... Never mind, that still makes sense. Scratch that one. I'm still on the Dr. Pepper having... Yeah. Ruined it. Anyways, still on that Dr. Pepper sending a bunch of full
Normal
sugar
stuff.
soda. That's so crazy to me. Oh man. All right. How are we doing on time?
We're good. We're at 53 minutes.
Okay. So give me some thoughts on this. I kind of ranted for a while there. Give me some thoughts on the whole topic of the parasite, spiritually, physically, whatever.
I don't know. You definitely get parasites like mentally, when you're intaking and consuming a lot of the world through your devices, whether that's news or entertainment or whatever it may be. If you sit there and watch news all day long for a week, your attitude and demeanor is going to be a lot different than it was if you didn't see that stuff. So you really got to limit your time.
Yeah.
Just like you would limit not eating fish full of worms.
Yeah. I think too, man, that's a good point. That's like, honestly, like still on the thing with camp and stuff. Like it's a time, it really should be a time in everybody's life. Like,
Yeah.
you should step away,
Yeah.
you should step away for a minute and get back to base. It's one of those things, dude, where at the end of the day, parasites don't show up overnight.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these sickness doesn't even need to be gross, like worms or whatever. But like typically when you get sick, it doesn't happen in an instance. It's a progressive thing, right? Like most people who develop diabetes, it's because they had too much sugar for a long period of time, and then they develop diabetes, or in heart disease, same thing. Like this kind of stuff happens because you have a lifetime full of bad decisions that compounded on each other and put you in this position, right?
Yeah.
And so there's always things that you can do to prevent these things, and so it doesn't just show up overnight. They creep in, and same with your spiritual self, same with your spiritual body, where you're with these spiritual toxins that kind of get into your mind and your heart. Like if you're constantly finding yourself angry or frustrated or negative, that's a toxic thing. That's not supposed to be there. And so, but the power, God has given you answers to deal with this, right? And so it's important to detox physically, emotionally, spiritually. And so I guess I'm challenging you guys, do a 24-hour detox or fast this week. Maybe pick a day where you don't use your screen or your phone. Maybe it's a meal that you skip, or you don't eat fast food this week or something like that. And just let us know how that affects you. Give yourself a day.
Yeah.
And then just comment on this and tell us. We want to hear your journeys and see how it goes. But we're grateful that you guys listened today. Hopefully it didn't gross you out too much on this one. It is kind of gross. Nobody wants to think that they have those issues, but we want to make sure that we take care of ourselves, And so we're going to leave off today on that. So want to thank our show sponsors, right?
Yeah.
First Form. Speaking of physical detox, get yourself some good things to eat, like these protein bars. These energy drinks are better than the other things that you're consuming, probably. Definitely better than that full sugar Dr. Pepper or whatever. Lots of supplements there, vitamins. I personally love the vitamin packs that they have. They're super, super easy to consume, everything there that you need. But want to thank First Form. We want to also thank Marcus at Two Clever Fellas and Cam from Backbone Coffee for supporting the show. It's what we've been sipping on all day. Check out our links in the description. You're helping us out every time that you make a purchase through one of these things. Or if you love the merch that we have, my hat, the shirt that we're wearing, get on our website and get you some. Every little bit counts. Also, we want to make sure Trenton gets a new Whopper Plopper. So go ahead and donate something for this boy to get back into the water with that top water action. Or if you have a lure company, I know a lot of you are listening, send us some. Email us at thecastingfaithpodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, we appreciate you. We love you. Keep casting faith in everyday life.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, Casting Faith crew, let's talk about something that keeps us running strong. Literally, we're proud to partner with First Form, the leader in premium nutrition and supplements.
These products aren't just for gym rats, y'all. First Form has something for everyone. Whether you're in the gym, in the woods, or on the water chasing steelhead or bass, protein powders, pre-workouts, vitamins, greens, you name it, they've got it.
And here's the best part. When you shop through our link, you're directly supporting this podcast. Every order you make helps us keep doing what we love, talking faith, fitness, and fishing just for you.
So don't wait. Level up your health, fuel your passion, and support the Casting Faith podcast. Click that link and get started with First Form today.